How to become employee-owned, a practical guide. So you've made the decision to become employee-owned. Let's look at the practical steps in undertaking this transition. Step 1. The design. Here, a plan will be developed for how your employee ownership trust will actually work. Here, you will ask yourself the following questions. How will you plan? Do you want to plan everything yourself, or are you going to adopt a collaborative approach and involve the senior leadership team or other employees? What will be the terms of ownership transfer? For example, how much of the company is to be sold? What will be the price? How long will it take for the shares to be paid for? Will there be any other terms of the purchase, such as warranties? How will the trust work? So you'll need to think about who will run the trust? How will they make decisions? Should this be by majority vote or unanimity, for example? What happens when trustees change? Which employees will be beneficiaries? For example, will there be a minimum period of employment? How may the trust evolve in the future? How will share ownership work? Will the trust hold all shares of the company on behalf of the employees, or will they set some shares aside for allocation to individual employees using a hybrid model? And how will employee voices be heard? It might be useful to have an employee council. This would effectively be a group who meet regularly to discuss any issues and improvements. Step 2. The implementation. This is the actual process and transition of becoming employee-owned. It will involve getting an independent valuation to ensure the purchase price isn't more than market valuation. It will also involve getting advance clearances from HMRC to avoid any tax surprises. A trust deed will need to be set up, which sets out the rules around the trust's operation and who the trustees will be. You will need to establish a share purchase agreement. This is a contract under which the existing shareholders sell their shares to the trust and details when and how they will be paid. You will need to update the company's constitution, commonly known as its Articles of Association. If there are going to be any other shareholders apart from the trust, you may need to have a shareholder agreement to govern the relationship between them. A clear communication strategy and plan on the transition with senior leadership and employees will be key. You will have an implementation timetable to cover the timing of key steps. Keep this as simple as possible and ideally allow at least 6 months from design to completion. The typical steps in the implementation include 1. Valuation. 2. HMRC clearance. 3. Draft, discuss and finalise main documents, share purchase agreement, trust deed, articles of association and shareholder agreement if relevant. 4. Communicate to senior leadership and employees. 5. Establish EOT and appoint its trustees. 6. EOT and shareholders sign the share purchase agreement. 7. Approve and sign all other documents, for example, the articles and shareholder agreement. 8. And finally, the company is now owned by the EOT. If you have any questions around becoming employee-owned, please visit postlethwaiteco.com.